Hello. Yeah, so I haven't done a video in a little while because I've been really busy, and when I've not been busy I've been ill. So yeah, I've been suffering the past week. I've been suffering with insomnia. That's probably why I'm making this video so late. Excuse the wobbling of the camera. Fluffy's decided to knock it. Fluffy, do you mind? But yeah, so I'm not sure what time it is. What time is it, John?
It is 37 minutes past midnight.
Yeah, so 37 minutes past midnight. And Fluffy is blocking my camera. Fluffy, come sit here. Come on. Wait. Come on. Because you keep knocking the camera. Come on, you're a pain in the bum. So yeah, I've been suffering with insomnia. And of course that's been causing fatigues during the day. And today I had to go out to do grocery shopping because I literally had no food. Like, my freezer was like completely empty. I could see the bottom of it for the first time in like ages. So I was like, no, I'm gonna have to brave it, and I'm gonna have to go out, and I'm gonna have to do some grocery shopping. And what I've been doing lately is to try and get a bit more exercise and a bit more independence and whatnot, is I've been doing half of my shopping online. So like the heaviest items and whatnot I've been doing online. And then for the other items, such as like the little bits of fruit and veg and all that sort of thing, I've been going to the local supermarket. So I can kind of try and get back into the swing of it, kind of thing. It's not going well, but there we go. But I've just been sat here trying to do some poetry. I've had a bit of writer's block lately, which I think is due to the flair I'm going through at the moment. The fibro flair, which is like, it's kind of been coming on waves. Like, the first I got the IBS, which is the really bad stomach cramps, spasms, all that sort of thing, and that lasted a few days. Then that went away. Then it was the I was getting pains in my hips again. Then it was the insomnia. Then last night and today I've had migraines, fatigue. I've had fatigue all week as well. I've had overheating, all that sort of thing. So it's like each symptom's kind of like coming, taking its turn, and then leaving, and then the next one's coming and taking its turn. So in a way, I suppose I'm lucky I'm not getting them all at once at the same time, which that has happened to me before, which that is just like horrid. So I cannot function at all when that happens. But yeah, so the poem I'm writing, or I'm trying to write, is about the fibro flair. And I'll read you what I've got so far. It's like really crappy, but yeah, what I've got so far, the poem's called The Flair, and what I've got is: when clothes become too painful to wear, you know you have entered the dreaded fibro flare. With a pain-filled glare, life becomes too much to bear. And that's basically what I got. And I've been trying to write this poem for a couple of weeks now, and I kind of got at least 2 small paragraphs of it, but I wrote it on my phone. And then my phone kind of died. It was a really old phone, like one of a Sony Xperia, like a really, really old Sony Xperia. I'm not sure what model it was, but it was like old. And it kind of gave up the ghost and died. So I forgot to save my work to the cloud, which is probably really, really stupid. So I lost it. So I had to start again, and there was like quite a few poems I had started on there, but hadn't saved it to cloud. And so now I've got to start them all over again. And to be honest, it's been really hard the past few weeks, the past month or two. I've been trying to come up with new poems, and they've been coming, but in very small little bits. And it's just like, I can't think. My brain's just like, no, I can't be bothered today. Go away, come back another day. You know? And I'm just trying to remember what I had written down in some of them poems. But with the fibro fog, it's really hard to do that. But I'll probably get there sooner or later. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I was meant to go out today to Candle Club, but I was too ill to go. Basically, my hips and legs have been killing me. My lower back is killing me. That's because I literally, before I went out to the supermarket, I literally took loads of pain meds, because I knew that if I didn't, I wouldn't even get halfway round to the supermarket before my legs gave up. And then John would have probably had to put me in the trolley and push me round the rest of the way. So, but then luckily on the way home, the pain meds started wearing off. So by the time I got home, I munched some more, but they haven't worked quite as well. So it's just like I've been sat here in pain all evening. And I've been trying to take my mind off it with like some Netflix and trying to write poems. But, you know. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. So yeah, I guess the lesson to learn is always back up your work on cloud or on a memory stick or memory card or something. Yeah, kind of feel a bit stupid now that I didn't, because I had a memory card in that phone. All I had to do was save the memory card, but I didn't. But there you go. But I've still got a load of my old poems. But it's like I don't want to keep going to these poetry events and open mic events and stuff with the same old poems over and over again, because I think they get a bit boring, and I think people will probably get fed up of hearing them, to be honest. So I've been trying to challenge myself for a while to write some positive poems, and that has been really difficult. I started by trying to think of positive things in my life and write about those. Which one poem I read about riding my bicycle. Not that I can do it that much anymore. I try, but it's hard to get out there on it. But that poem, I didn't quite like it. It come out all cheesy and horrible. Come out in the kind of Disney cheesy way, you know. But yeah, and other positive poems, I just kind of can't. I think about the thing I want to write about, and then I start to write about it. Then the positive poem starts to turn negative, and it's like, oh, great. It's not what I want. So I find writing about negative things really easy. And that, I suppose, is because I've dealt with negative for so long that it's natural to me and it comes easy to me. And positive is more difficult. I mean, I wrote a poem about my little sister, my baby sister, Rain, and that in itself was difficult. Not because, it wasn't because I couldn't think of anything to write about her. There's loads I could write about her, but trying to write it in a poetry form. She's such a big character, if you know what I mean. She's got such a big personality. She's not a big person, physically big. She's not like a big person. Kind of in spirit or mentally, she's like really big. She's big, bright and bold in spirit. And it's kind of hard to get all that big, bold, bright spirit and channel it down into a little poem, So I haven't quite finished that poem yet. I think I've done all right with it, but I need to do some more on it. But yeah.
I have a tip though.
What?
What you should do is, aside from just writing poems, hello. Aside from just writing poems, what you should do is get like a notebook, and when you have a verse, just a verse, it doesn't matter what the subject's about, note it.
That's what I've been doing with this, in the back of this notebook.
Yeah, but you've been writing poems there.
When I say no, in the back of this notebook.
Oh, in the back.
I call it mental sneeze, and I just write random stuff that pops into my head, and then I'll look back at that later, and that will inspire a poem, maybe. Yeah.
But what I was saying, because the camera's being really weird because the light's there, it's gonna really screw your video a little.
Shh. It's not a light, it's a halo.
Ah, stole you.
Not that kind of halo.
Shh, copyright. But no, but what I mean is, like, don't even like categorise it. Just write stuff.
I've not really categorised it.
Yeah, I know, but like, write like what you're doing there with the mental sneeze. Write down verses, right? But write down rhymes, even if it makes no sense. Like,
listen to this.
If I drink too much tea, it makes me really want to pee. Just shit like that. And you'll start learning how words rhyme with stuff. And then you can form poems from it.
I've kind of been, listen to this. This is right, the mental sneeze that I've been doing, where I just write random bits that pop into my head.
Well, that could be a poem in itself. Just put at you.
Some of it's poetic. Some of it's just weird. And some of it is just a mental sneeze. But listen to this. This is one of them. My guts churning as I battle the beast in my head, twisting and turning my thoughts until they are no longer my own. Really weird shit.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
here's a challenge for you and any of the people watching your YouTube channel for poetry, right? I would like everyone to take one particular emotion, be it love, hate, anger, fear, pain, whatever, an emotion, and just write. Just describe that emotion
But yeah,
as colourfully as they can.
this mental sneeze here, I think, describes what I've been going through lately. Sleep evades me. Thoughts buzz loudly like bees trapped in my skull.
So
but yeah, like mental sneeze is a thing I learnt to do. Like it's a mental health thing. Like the what do you call them? Those doctor people who
psychologist.
That's the one. Psychologist. Fucking brain fart. Psychologist.
Fibro fart.
Psychologists will tell you if you're a mental health patient. I got told this by some psychologists and stuff that keep a diary or notes or a notebook and just write your thoughts down. Then you can either look back at them later and whatnot, or you can write them down and not look at them or whatever. But it's a way of getting it off your chest, getting your thoughts out. And this is what I do, and I call it mental sneeze. And some of it comes in handy, like for poems and things. I'll read back and like stuff I've written, and it'll give me inspiration for a poem or something. So yeah, it's a really good way of getting those thoughts out, you know. So give it a try. I've got loads of mental sneeze on here. Oh, I like this one. It's hard to keep a sleep when I'm dead attitude when all you want to do is sleep. See, that inspired part of a poem that I did. I think it was Chronic Conflict, my poem called Chronic Conflict. That was in there. This is a weird one. My brain is always empty when I need it full. Weird. A storm in my mind, clouding my judgment, fogging up my memory, making my cognitive ability soggy. That is just really weird. So yeah, sometimes it can be funny reading this stuff back because you look at it and you think, what the hell was I on when I wrote that? What kind of pharmaceuticals was I taking then? With me, it's amitriptyline. And I do kind of trip on it a little bit. I get some funny little hallucinations every now and again.
Amitriptyline. The clue is in the name. Amitriptyline!
But yeah, so have a go at mental sneeze. I mean, it's really, really helpful sometimes because I've found with me, where I suffer with depression and anxiety, it helps to get those negative thoughts out and write them down. And then, of course, I use them for my poetry. Also, another thing, this is something I learned in my anxiety course. They taught us how to do SMART goals, which you write a goal down. It's got to be something that's not difficult and not too big, and you know, that kind of has a time limit, because if it doesn't have a time limit, you'll just keep putting it off. Your anxiety will cause you to keep putting it off. So for instance, one of my anxiety SMART goals was write a note which is right now is one of the poetry open mic nights I was introduced to by my partner. And I went there a few times and I really enjoyed it. And I really wanted to have a go because I'd never done anything like that before, and I thought it might be a fun experience. And I kind of plucked up the courage and went there and read one of my poems. Well, a couple of my poems, I think, I don't know. But and I gave myself a time limit then, and I said, right, I'm going to give myself a couple of weeks to pluck up the courage and do this. And I actually managed to do it. And I was probably really, really bad at it because I was really, really nervous and really anxious about it. But once I had done it, I looked back and I thought, now why was I worried about that? Why was I anxious about that? You know, everyone seemed to be very supportive there, and you know, I had people coming up to me saying, oh, well done, that I really liked your poem and stuff like that. So I was like, why was I worried? What, you know, it felt silly, me being anxious about it. And I've been doing it a couple of months, going to these open mic events, reading out my poetry. I still get anxious when I'm up there. And then afterwards, I just think to myself, why were you anxious? There was no need to be anxious. So it's kind of like I'm getting better now. The last time I went up, I wasn't hardly anxious at all. There was a tiny, tiny little bit of anxiety, but I just didn't overthink it. Whereas before, I think that's what caused the anxiety, is I overthought everything and overanalyzed everything. And that's what starts that anxiety cycle. So I just didn't think about it. I just got up there and did it. And I was a tiny little bit anxious. But then I came off and I felt really good about it and really good about myself. And I thought, I'm really proud of that. I actually managed to do it. And my partner told me that my microphone skills were a lot better. Because usually I stand quite far away from the microphone. So then the microphone doesn't pick up my voice properly. So I'm really quiet. But this time I was close to the microphone. You know, so try and make up smart goals like that. It could be something like the reading poetry, that writing it in front of all those people. That's probably a bit of a big goal there. So maybe to start with, try something smaller. Like here, I've got one here. One of my smart goals was go out on my own more, which I have accomplished that. And going to the therapy kind of helped with that as well, because I had to go there on my own. Because most of the time I don't go out alone because I worry and whatnot about falling over and hurting myself. I don't like social interactions. I freak out. Even the smallest of interactions, like talking to a bus driver when getting on the bus, you know, to tell him what stop I want to go to and handing the money over to him and taking a ticket from him and all that sort of thing. That kind of thing freaks me out. So I don't do that. I always go out with my other half, and he does all the social interaction stuff for me. So that was one of my goals, go out on my own. So I did that and I managed that. I was freaked out at first, but then started to feel better about it. So I'm going to try and keep that one going, you know, going out on my own or whatever without my partner. And another one of my SMART goals was make small money interactions on my own. So again, the bus driver thing, I accomplished that, so that was cool. So yeah, do try the SMART goals thing and the mental sneeze thing. They're really helpful. And yeah, do have a go at poetry as well. I mean, you don't have to share it with anyone if you don't want to. It's just helpful to write it and get these things off, negative stuff off your chest. So yeah, that's my random video for this week. I'm hopefully gonna try and get some sleep. I mean, I took my amitriptyline at like 8 o'clock this evening, and so far it's doing nothing. Usually within an hour it's got me feeling all drowsy, and then within an hour and a half I'm about ready to pass out to sleep. And usually it knocks me out to sleep quite quickly, and you know, and I get to sleep with no trouble. But this week it's not been knocking me out to sleep. It's been making me a little drowsy, but it's not really been knocking me out to sleep. Which occasionally that happens, and if it goes on any longer, if it goes on longer than a week, I usually stop taking the amitriptyline for a few days to a week. Then I'll start it again, and it usually kickstarts it working again. So I think what it is my system gets overloaded with amitriptyline kind of thing, and it gets used to it. So then I take a week off of it every now and again just to clear it out of my system. Then I start on it again, and it usually does the trick. So I'm probably going to have to do that in the next few days, because if I don't get some sleep soon, then I don't know what's going to happen. I'm finding it hard to function during the day because of the fatigue, and the fatigue causes the brain fog, and that. So yeah, it's not been fun, has it, Fluff? No, he's there somewhere. He's on his perch. You're being a good boy. Yeah. So yeah. But I'm gonna let you all go now, because I think I've rabbited it on for like half an hour or more. Hello, Fluffy. You big baby. Right, I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.